My E46 M3, it's a 2001. I'm using it as my dedicated wind foiling vehicle, and on the way home from Magnuson at Lake City, it stopped running. It felt like it was a fuel-related problem, so the tow truck driver with Best Towing, he's really cool. He had an idea with carb cleaner, so we sprayed carb cleaner right down there to start it up to see if it works. So it wouldn't start at all, and sure enough, it fired up. So it's a fuel-related issue. I did a bunch of research online, and it seems like the two most common problems are either the fuel pump relay or it's the fuel pump, which is just underneath there. So I'm gonna clean this out and see if I can start with some troubleshooting. Thanks, Darius, for letting me borrow your Suntech OBD2 scanner machine. I'm just gonna click on OBD2 scan, and last time I checked this, there were no codes found. Now I heard for this year, if there are fuel-related issues, it won't come up as a code. And with my multimeter, it's very easy to troubleshoot. So it looks like in a moment it should show up. Now it shows yellow, but zero codes found. But there definitely is some things I need to work on my vehicle. When I do read codes, it shows no codes found, and then pending codes, no codes found. And when I go out of this, there's also a lot of cool functions as far as RPM, temperature. It got all the temperature gauges, which was really cool, and it shows my VIN numbers. It's definitely hooking up to my system just fine. I vacuumed, give me some nice clean space to troubleshoot. On the passenger side, there's the fuel pump and fuel gauge, and on the driver's side, due to the two wires and being much smaller, is the feeder pump. Feed it from this side of the tank to this tank if it's low on fuel. I'm going to check the fuse for the fuel pump relay first. And there's a nice guide right here. And the fuel pump is 54, which is this one right here, or that one right there, which is a 20 amp. So I can go ahead and use this tool. This fuse is in great shape. Put it back. Place. My sound deadening layer is in pretty good shape, so I'm going to try to keep it as intact as I can. So as I remove these 4 10mm nuts, I'm going to be very slow and careful. I'm going to attempt to remove the sound deadening layer out of the way. There we go, that should help a little bit. This one is a little tight, so I'm just using a 10mm wrench. Just gonna pull out this clip right there. Okay. So here's an interesting thing. I'm reading 9 volts. I have it hooked up to ground over here and to positive. And then when I turn the ignition on, it shoots up to the appropriate voltage. I'm getting 12 volts just for a few seconds. And then when I turn it on, get good voltage, about 11.2 volts, and it goes back, but it doesn't turn off. So definitely getting voltage here, so definitely means my fuel pump is not good. But I'm not sure why this doesn't turn back down to 0. Yeah, I'm gonna think about this more, if I can do a different test. And this is the reading also with it out of, the key is out of the ignition. That shows to 0, and then hook us up to ground here. Still get good ground. I've done it both ways, whether I use ground in this or if I use ground on another source. At least it doesn't go from 0 to the right voltage. I think I figured it out. So this is 11 volts running through the fuel pump where the electricity is coming through the fuel pump without even the engine running, but maybe that's not the actual amps, maybe it's just volts. So when I turn the ignition on, it pumps it up to 12 volts with probably more amps, and then back down, but it doesn't go to 0. So I was thinking, I'm not sure if my relays are messed up. I might want to replace them anyway, but I thought of a cool test. So I have the same 11 volts from the fuel pump into a 3 ohm, just a glove box light, and when I turn on the ignition, get the 3 seconds of power and it shuts off. just like it should, and as you can see, it's very low resistance, and I've had a single AA battery lit up really nice. So I'm just trying to really check out. You need very little power to light this thing up. Just one AA battery will get a little bit of, make this coil a little bit brighter. So with this being completely, you know, at what it showed before with the multimeter, around 9-10 volts, there's absolutely no power going through it. So I should have no concerns about my relay system working appropriately. So it is the fuel pump. Have to go unordered. Both of the relays tested out great. I heard that the relays are more common to go bad compared to the actual fuel pump, and knowing that the old relays are 18 years old, I just got new relays because getting stranded is not the best. So just to test conductivity, so when I check 6 and 7, there's a long beep and then a short beep going back and forth. That's exactly what the other one did. So I believe my relays are just fine. It's the fuel pump, but I have this here. They're not too expensive, so I'm going to put these new relays in. Checking the resistance to the coil on the switch. They're 96 ohms. That's good. Now checking the switch. Switch is over nice. And for conductivity, to make sure the switch is getting a good connection. Here, and there we go. Switch goes over and everything works great. The fuel pump relays are located in the rear passenger side behind a panel. Just have a few of these clips, pull them with one of these interior tools, and they are right there. Here we go. And now that the new relays have been tested, I'm going to install them. Go. It's always good to test a new part before I remove the old, especially with fuel being present, so it could be a little more awkward, so just turn it to accessories. Nice, runs for a few seconds, ready for install. I'm going to clean up the area before I remove the fuel pump. A vacuum and a boar's hair brush does a really good job of getting the majority of the soil load Before I crack the ring, I want to make sure I have gloves, eye protection, I have the new fuel pump ready to go, I have a bucket, some bags, paper towels, fire extinguisher, make sure my phone isn't close, obviously no smoking or lighting things on fire during this process, and I should be good to go. I'm going to remove the fuel line. It looks like there's a place for me to put pliers on either side here. Maybe I can squeeze it down and shimmy it off. There we go. Okay, a little bit of, yep, this is where eye protection's nice, because it's spreading out a little bit. And there we go. Good idea to put a paper towel there. That worked out really well. Let's see if, I think this little goop is pretty, oh yeah. There we go. I'm going to remove the fuel pump ring by going counterclockwise, or tapping counterclockwise. This is working, it's just taking a little bit of persistence. Nice. Got it where I can get off my hand. And when I saw this, it didn't look very dirty. I was thinking, oh, I probably didn't need to get a new one, but I banged it up, so it'll just be nice to put the new fresh one on. And time to take the fuel pump out. There we go. Just a nice firm pull. Now as I do this, it's a little tricky to get the actual fuel gauge reader out, so it's a little twist. The fuel level gauge. There we go. Coming out. Oh, little splashes. Glad I have all the towels. And then here we go, twist in. And this is the way the gasket goes, and I have the other one on there. And we're just going to put it straight in this bucket. I'm going to set the gasket first. I tried it the other way and it didn't seem to want to work out at all, and this is, yeah, oh yeah, there we go. set the gasket first. And this goes in. Those in and line up this part right here, the end tab. A little bit over this way. There we go. Wow. BMWs are easy to work on. This is nice. Everything just fits where it's supposed to. And yeah, that's cool. This can just go straight in here. Clicks in. Ah, so easy. Okay. Oh, actually, got ahead of myself. Let's put this ring on first. There we go. And I'll go ahead and put this here. And clockwise to tighten. I'll just click this on. There we go. That's a little better. Less splashing. Clean this up a little bit. Put on the clip. Nice. Test for leaks. Good. Cycle it through 5 times. The reason I'm cycling is to make sure the line is all pressurized with fuel. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Make sure the fuel gauge, yep, just a little bit above the quarter tank. Nice. Don't see any leaking? Well, let's give it a trial, see if it starts up. Oh, nice. Missed that. Oh, that sounds good. It's been a few weeks. I'll let it idle up for a little bit, warm up, and rev it, and I'll clean it up. Also, I'll keep an eye, make sure there's no leaks before I button the cap back on. Nice, it's all warmed up. Ooh, that's fun. I'm gonna put the cover back on with the arrow facing forward. That is underneath. Get these all back on. And this is just a 10mm socket. Oh yeah, I checked just to make sure the gasket is nice and clean. This helps make sure no air fumes get into the car. Nice, it's all tight. Get this cover back on. It's okay, that's a little loose. That'll be okay. Might as well condition this rubber. Won't take very long. Probably help make it last longer. Wipe up the remainder. That looks good. Now it's conditioned. Put the cover back on that I used to get the relays out. There we go. Just above the battery. Let's get this one back in. This one did not push in easily, so I'm going to use a screwdriver for this one. There we go. Buttoned up. Put in the side back seats first. And there's a little lip right here for the bottom piece. Nice. Now I can push this back into the side pieces here. And then push down here. There we go. Got to remove this piece right here. It goes in here and there. So this one, same. This end piece goes in first, the hole, and then kind of shimmy it. in there. Take this cover piece right here. Works better to put one seat up and one seat down to get the tongue in. Hard to see, but with the tongue in, then it locks in place right there for the Torx. You can screw down. Nice. And then, let's get some out of the way. Ooh, that's nice. That's good. So fuel pump all in, revs up nice, seats are back looking good. If you'd like more videos like this, I'm thinking about doing the actual fuel filter. Also might be readjusting my lifters. If you'd like to see more of those videos, like, subscribe, and share, and I'll try to get to them. Thanks. Have a great day.